should he go?
Yes, I think that's without a shadow of a doubt. My residents are now a little bit, dare I say it, beyond the sort of chief executive losing their role. They sort of feel that should be a given.
Residents in Sussex and Kent are still without water 4 days after an outage was first declared by South East Water. Schools and hospitals have been forced to close, with the water company blaming Storm Goretti and a power cut at its pumping plant as the reasons behind the water outage. South East Water Chief Executive David Hinton has been recalled to answer further questions about the disruption by the Environment, Food and Rural Affairs Select Committee in Parliament. I'm joined by Stephanie Reeves, a Conservative councillor and East Grinstead's Deputy Town Mayor, East Grinstead being one of the worst affected areas. Stephanie, give us the latest there. Are you still without water?
Good evening. Yes, the vast majority of residents are still without water. We were told about 3:00 this afternoon that they anticipate around 2,000 residents having some intermittent water today. Another 3,000 should have water, they suggest, by tomorrow morning. But that leaves the vast majority of businesses and homes still with no running water.
OK, now it was meant to be sorted today. That's what they said yesterday.
Yep.
They're saying today or tomorrow. How much faith do you have? Do you also fall under South East Water? Just to sort of clarify that. First of all, you do. Okay. How much faith do you have in South East Water?
Personally, I don't have any faith. 3 years ago, we had a similar water outage in East Grinstead. There was very little comms and very little planning around that. We haven't been told, the town council hasn't been kept kind of abreast of the planning. If I'm honest, the vast majority of the information we receive is as customers of theirs. So it's a sort of a relatively generic response across the town. We have been told that they will continue to restore people's supply over tomorrow. That doesn't, if I'm honest, sound like they're imagining the vast majority be back online. As I understand, even those that have got it back on is still very intermittent, sort of brown water running out of the taps. So those lucky residents who have some, it's still very minimal in terms of meaningful supply.
OK, so brown water out of taps. What about bottled water, water tankers turning up and helping you out? Is that happening as it should be?
Yes. So I think those original deliveries, which were, if I'm honest, very poorly managed and very poorly placed in the town, there does seem to be some improvement there. They're now at East Court, which is the town council, and East Grinstead Sports Club and our sports centres, which are better placed. And I think the brilliant people of East Grinstead are sort of managing that. There are reports, as you can imagine, of elderly and vulnerable people not being able to get there, and they are relying on volunteers and neighbours to help them. But I think we have seen some improvements to the complete chaos that was Saturday and Sunday.
So to reiterate, you are getting better communication from South East Water as a customer of theirs rather than as a stakeholder interested in trying to communicate to the public within your area. There's no direct communications with the town hall, local council, etc.
Not that I'm aware of. I represent the town south ward, so the very middle of East Grinstead, the sort of most urban. I've never received any emails from South East Water directly to my council email. The only contact that we have is as a customer, so we get the sort of generic updates. So it's been very poor, I think, and I am relaying information that hopefully other customers have had rather than the direct communications that you would hope that the town council would have been receiving.
Yeah, so they're not allowing you to exert any leadership on this, really, I suppose.
No.
Try and bring about a resolution. What do you make of Dave Hinton, the chief executive of South East Water? I wonder if you've had any dealings with them. He's the guy in charge at the moment. He was the guy in charge when there was a problem in Tunbridge Wells in Kent. They sent water, South East Water, to Tunbridge in Kent, 5 miles away, not Tunbridge Wells. They sent it to the wrong place.
Yeah.
Hinton described it as not my finest moment, but still scored himself an 8 out of 10 for responding to that incident before Christmas. Ever had any dealings with him?
I haven't. If I'm honest, I haven't met him in my time in council. I'm not overwhelmingly impressed by the response here. I feel the enormous amounts of pain for those people in Tunbridge Wells who have been blighted incessantly. And as I mentioned, East Grinstead, only 3 years ago, we had another water shortage supply issues. So we aren't immune from these challenges.
Do you think he should face the sack? He is going to be hauled up in front of MPs again, but you do have to wonder whether his position is tenable. Should he go?
Yes, I think that's without a shadow of a doubt. My residents are now a little bit, dare I say it, beyond the sort of chief executive losing their role. They sort of feel that should be a given. But there is obviously a very serious issue with resilience planning, crisis comms. There is a much bigger issue there with the teams not performing as they should do.
All right.
And it needs to be looked at.
Yeah, look, thank you. Good luck in your quest to get water restored. Stephanie Reeves, a Conservative councillor, and East Grinstead's Deputy Town Mayor.